All right, so I'm here with Hector and Caleb. Hector, you're pretty much brand new.
I am.
You looked in,
new. 3 weeks.
3 weeks in. So you're 3 weeks in. You've had your life insurance license for a while. Haven't really done much with it. You had another job that you were with, and you were gonna finally at the point where you were gonna on board with another IMO, but then you decided to come over to Family First Life, and you know now here we are. Caleb, you've been here for
coming on 3 months now.
I was gonna say,
almost.
Has it been 3 months already?
Don't think so.
My goodness,
coming on it. Yeah, it feels. I still feel like I'm brand new. Seriously.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Time flies. That's crazy.
Still figuring stuff out.
That's crazy. You know what's funny about Caleb? You know why he's here?
Everything.
So I was at my house one day and Caleb was selling pest control.
Yep.
He was selling pest control and he was door knocking, cold door knocking. Came to my house and he knocked on my door and ended up, dude, like you sold me on it. Like I bought the freaking pest control from that, and we got to talking for life insurance and rest is history. Ended up coming on board with us and dude's been
and I actually had started to onboard before and stopped. Yeah. And then you're the second person. I just happened to meet you from Family First Life. I'm like, it's the second time. Maybe I should kind of hop on board this thing. Both of them have told me they're making a bunch of money.
Yep.
And I was like, is it true? And oh my God.
Yeah, dude, you've been crushing. What have you done like in the last 2 weeks?
This last week was a low week for me, 89, 95, something like that. I'd like to be over 10,000.
Okay.
And the week before, I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah. All right. So $8,900.
$8,900
for this week, and that's a low week for you. What were you doing with pest control? Your average week.
So I was guaranteed $1,000 a week.
Yep.
Sometimes I'd make $1,500, $2,000 maybe.
Okay, so $50,000-$60,000 a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're on track to do like three something this year because you started late.
3 to 4 for sure.
Yeah, $300,000 to $400,000 this year. So I mean that. If that doesn't get you going, I mean, my goodness, you know, and this dude was fresh off the street, just cold, just door knocking, man. Yeah. So great work ethic. It's not, you didn't just come here and have it handed to you. You've been working for it.
For sure.
Like you dial your butt off, and you door knock when you have to, and you just kind of make it happen. All right. Yeah. So we're not taking anything away from you. The work ethic is there. Now, Hector, you came in fresh just 3 weeks ago, and we were talking a little bit earlier today, and you said you were having a little bit of issues on the phone.
Yes.
And just kind of getting into the house, right? So can you walk us through that? What have you been trying to do? What has worked? What hasn't worked?
Obviously, if I have a lot of confidence on the phone, I tend to get better conversations. But a lot of times when they ask, they say, no, I'm not interested. I say, okay, and hang up. It's I don't deal real well with objections, but it's something that Joe told me that to talk to you. He said that you're really good at that, and I definitely want to learn as much as possible because I'm here for the long haul. So I want to learn the game.
Okay, so basically, what are we saying on the phones? How are we actually setting these appointments, right?
Absolutely.
I've heard you on the phone.
Yeah.
And dude, when you first came, you were kind of a train wreck, right? As was I. Most of us are.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's been 3 months. Like, dude.
It doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't feel like that, but you've come so far. Like, I hear you now, and I'm like, man, like, I think you're better than I am on the phone. For sure.
Disagree.
So, could you give him some advice on that? Like, what's your phone script on the phone? You're dialing mostly internet leads?
Yes.
Right? What's your phone script on the phone? Are you overcoming objections? Are you just kind of on to the next one, internet, like a volume play? What's your take on that?
Very little objection overcoming for me. One thing I've found is the first 3 seconds. The first 3 seconds is where you're going to get them or lose it. And one thing I've found for me, I slow down a little bit, but I don't slow down a lot. But I'll slow down a bit and just have a calm, confident tone. Let's say your name is Dan. Hey, Dan.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, Dan, doing fine. Thanks for asking. Hope you're having a good day. This is Caleb Sewell. And with the leads that I'm running right now, Leadrilla, they get a text with my info. So the way I'm opening these is you should have gotten a text with my info. Hope they sent that over. This is Caleb Sewell. I'm a field underwriter for the state of Texas. To be clear, that means my job is to make sure, number one, nobody tries to take advantage of you. 2, make sure we find the plan that you're looking for, and then kind of be a go-between between you and the life insurance company. Now, what were you looking for when you filled this out?
Final expense. I just didn't want my family to pay for my funeral and
for sure
stuff like that. So
for
it's probably like $20,000.
All right, perfect.
Somewhere around there.
Excellent. And that's what about 90% of my clients are looking for.
Okay.
So what I do for all of my clients, first I got to make sure you're qualified, and then I'll stop by for about 10, 15 minutes, go over the information, and see if there is something for you. If there is, I'll make sure I get you through to the company. If not, no harm, no foul. I'm just a field underwriter. My job's just to get the information in your hands. Now, as far as medical conditions, have you had any major medical issues in the last 7 years, like cancer, heart attack, stroke, COPD?
No, I haven't.
Okay, good to hear. And what about the small stuff, like high blood pressure, cholesterol?
High cholesterol, a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, everybody has that.
Sure.
Thanks for letting me know, though. Anything else, any prescriptions you need to know about?
I'm on Wellbutrin. It's kind of, I take it to help me quit smoking.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Gotcha.
So.
And you're still a smoker?
No, I actually haven't smoked since I've been on the medicine for about 3 years.
For about 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
And I'll stop by tomorrow. They got me dispatched out that way tomorrow and the next day. Would morning or afternoon work best for you?
Afternoon, after work.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they've got me seeing about 9 families. I've only got a couple of slots open in the afternoon. I've got about a 2:15 and about a 4:30. What would work best for you?
4:30.
Okay, 4:30, perfect.
Yeah.
I'll put you down
Yeah.
for 4:30 here.
Okay.
And when I swing by, are there any giant dogs or gates that I'm gonna have to jump over?
I actually have some dogs, but I'll make sure that they're put up.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
Absolutely.
Okay, I love dogs as long as they're not gonna bite my ankle off. Then
Yeah, I've got little chihuahuas too,
All right.
so I understand. Yeah.
all right, good to hear.
Yeah.
And were you looking for coverage just for yourself or for your wife as well?
For my wife also. The more that you and I talk, I really I don't think 25,000 or 20,000 is enough. I probably need a couple 100,000 because
Yeah.
of if I lose my income and stuff. So
Absolutely here.
yeah,
And
about
I
200,000 maybe.
Okay, and I've only got a partial date here. How old are you?
I actually just turned 50.
Just turned 50. Okay. Yeah. So at your age, you're old enough that if you wanted a whole life policy, that's a little bit more expensive, you could get one. Young enough that term is still a very viable option where you get money back,
Okay.
and you're able to invest in yourself as well as your family. So we'll look at both of those.
Okay, great.
I work with about 20 companies, about 100 different products. So that gives me the ability to kind of shop around for you,
Okay.
customize a plan for you. So I'll make sure I go over your options beforehand so that I know what's probably best for you. And we'll go over in-house when I visit you exactly what's going to be the best thing for you.
Great.
So, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow at 4:30. I'm going to send you a text from my number as well with that information.
Okay.
So that you got my name, my number, and if anything changes, feel free to text me back or call me
Okay.
and let me know.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Look forward
I'll
to-
see you, Dan. I'll see you tomorrow at 4:30. Look forward to helping out you and your family.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
And also, a lot of times we'll get people that you can't get a hold of them over the phone, right? You call them 4 or 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time what I get when I visit them in home is I just don't answer phone numbers from numbers that I don't recognize. Now, using
That makes
LeadRilla,
sense.
I've gotten rid of a lot of that because they're supposed to get a text with my name and my number. So I've actually had some people off LeadRilla call me, text me. So they already know who I am. But
Okay.
some of them, they still don't recognize the number. They don't remember my phone number from that text earlier, right? They don't have it memorized.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll still visit them in person.
Okay.
And I've had really good success door knocking. The last 6 that I door knocked off LeadRilla, 5 of them were sales, as far as people that answered the door, right? Or the last 7. 5 of them were sales. One of them I set an appointment. That's for tomorrow. And then one of them, he didn't tell me to leave. I just decided this man, he's got 401k. He's actually, if something happens to him, his family's protected. There's no way he can afford it at his age because of what he's making, what he's already spending, and then
Sure.
how much he thinks life insurance costs. So I decided this isn't a good appointment. God bless you, man. It was good to meet you. Because he was already protected. So door knocking's gone well for me.
Let me just say something to that point.
Yes.
You write enough business where you're not desperate.
Right.
Okay, so in a
sure.
situation, right, in a situation like that, one thing I love about this job is this company, this IMO, Family First Life, is the commission is so high where you don't have to sell a $400 a month policy to make really good money. You sell a $100 policy and like at our lowest contract level, you're making over $1,000, like advanced to you.
Yep.
Okay. So now you write enough business where like you don't have commission breath. You genuinely have the client's best interest at heart. And that's what I love about this is because our commission level is so high that you can actually go into a house with their best interest at heart and actually put them in a better situation and something that they
100%.
actually that's going to benefit them. And I think that's transparent in home. This is my agent again. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm about a 10K a week producer
Hey, Mike.
on
Mm-hmm.
an average good week for me. I like to write 10K,
Mm-hmm.
and that's off 4 to 900 AP appointments. I'm usually not. My biggest one ever was $4,000. Got declined. I'm gonna try to rewrite that one.
Wow.
And then I just got my second biggest today, which was $2,400. I don't write huge policies. I need to work better on it, right, on the people that I know can afford it and I know should get something better.
Sure.
I need to work on that, but I just run enough business and I meet enough people and have a large quantity of
So it is a numbers
business.
kind of. The more people
For
you
sure.
see.
For
Okay.
sure. I usually write 8 to 11 a week.
That's
Yeah.
a lot. That's awesome.
Usually. But another thing, Chris, if you watch his video on YouTube, under FFL Apex, 40K month producer, he has a video where he just does his in-home mortgage protection, right? My in-home presentation was horrible when I first started. And my first week I wrote 10K, and then I went 2 weeks back to back, like 3K, 5K, something.
Okay.
And then he sat down with me and he fixed that. And I started running it the same way Chris does in that video. And my close rate went back up to 90%. If I sit with 4 people, I'm fairly confident I'm going to close 4. And a huge part of that is that presentation.
Okay.
That you can find again under FFL Apex, YouTube, 40K month producer, Chris Wasserman. And I run all my appointments just like that. And I'm back up to about 90% close rate.
That's awesome.
The in-home?
Yeah.
In-home, yeah. Dude, in-home is everything, but you got to get in-home first. So the phone script that you were going over, dude, I love it, and there's a couple things that you do there that I really like. So you're the field underwriter. Okay. So I'm not the sales guy, I'm the field underwriter.
Yeah.
So people like that. No one likes a sales guy.
Sure.
All right. So, I say the exact same thing in my phone script. So I'm the field underwriter,
Yeah.
Hey, Caleb, my name is Chris. I was just getting back to you about the inquiry you made online for life insurance the other day. I am the field underwriter that's assigned to your case. So I just had to go over a few questions with you just to verify real quick. All right. And then kind of go from there. So I think the field underwriter thing I think that's huge. Another thing that you say in there is that you want to make sure that you're not being taken advantage of. Okay. So you're building trust. No one wants to be taken advantage of. So now this guy's on my side. He's a field underwriter, and he wants to make sure no one is trying to take advantage of me, which anybody thinks a salesman's trying to take advantage of them, right? Whether you're buying cars, houses, you name it, okay? Salesmen are in it for themselves. So I think you combat that right off the bat. So before you even get the objection, you're already slapping it down.
Yeah.
And I like that. And so you sound very trustworthy on the phone, and I think that's one reason why you're having so much success actually getting in home. So that's huge.
And I think that comes from actually caring about, because I genuinely care about the clients.
Yeah.
I'll write them the best thing as opposed to what gets me the best commission rate.
Right.
I think that makes a difference.
For sure. And either way, you're getting a really good commission rate.
Oh, it's amazing. No matter what you write, it's
stupid money.
mind-blowing.
It's stupid money.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It doesn't make any sense, but here we are.
No.
It's very cool. Yep. All right. So, does that answer some of your questions about the phone script based on the leads that you're calling? You're doing primarily internet leads, right?
Yes.
And so that's a very good internet leads phone script right there. So I would take that, run with it, make it yours. Continue. You can kind of customize it a little bit, but have those basic elements in there.
Okay.
Build the trust. Be the field underwriter. Make sure you have their best interests at heart, and then I think that's going to help you in the long run actually book the appointments and get out there.
Okay.
And now, before we started this podcast, you said you only had a couple in-homes, and they went pretty well. And there was a time where somebody showed them their options, and once you presented the options, they liked it, but it was a little too expensive, and you got I want to think about it.
Yeah.
And you said you kind of froze, right?
I did freeze. Yeah.
So one thing I really want to stress, and I do this with all my new agents, is I say, look, for the first 7 to 10 appointments, I want you to go in home, complete that financial inventory sheet, and then right after you get that done, I want you to call me, okay? And then when they call me, we're going to go over what I want to know. I want to know their age, whether or not they smoke, and the medications that they're on.
Okay.
They're going to tell me that, and that helps formulate a plan. All right, now I know he's 55 years old, and he's on, let's say, metformin, high blood pressure, cholesterol, the generic ones most everybody's on, and he's a non-smoker. Okay. Well, I know being 55, he's eligible for Eagle Premier, right? So any final expense product he's going to be old enough for. I know the medications that he's on, if it really is just those 3, let's be honest, a lot of times they're on some other meds they're just not telling us about.
Sure.
we know that with those medications, he's going to be eligible for Eagle Premier. And whether or not he's a smoker, Eagle's going to give him non-smoker rates anyway, right, for the first few years of the policy. So I want to know that. If they're younger, they're in their 40s and they're on some medications or whatever, well, I know that they're not going to be eligible for final expense unless it's with Aetna. And, whether they smoke or not is that's going to be reflected in the premium. So I have them call me in-home. That way we can game plan it right there. And rather than have them beforehand try to study all these products and just get overwhelmed at the amount of information that's out there for each individual product, now we're taking it one by one. So every time they're in home, I'm telling them about a product. While they're there, they're only focusing on one. And then right after I tell them to pitch it, they're pitching it. So they're learning that way. So they're learning the products that way. It's a good product. It's actually going to benefit them. It's going to put them in the best position. That's why they're calling me. Sure. And they're learning, and they're not overwhelmed that way. And they do that 7 to 10 times, and they're usually good to go after that. And they'll call me for like more major issues and stuff. So I think that's one good thing. Also, I have them call me, and this is what I want to go over with you, is when you get stuck like that, you get an objection, you just don't know how to overcome, call your upline. That's what your upline is there for. Okay. Yeah. Well, one of the many reasons that they're there. Call them. Hey, you can call me. Caleb calls me sometimes. Hey, Chris, I'm in a home right now. Great couple, 56-year-old, non-smoker, taking medication for high blood pressure and cholesterol. This is this is their situation. And then, all right, Caleb. So why don't we show them this or ask them some additional questions? Are they diabetic? Yeah. Type 1, type 2, or metformin, or are they on oral meds or insulin? Insulin. All right. Well, now we know we can either show like Aetna or something, some kind of final expense product, or John Hancock, right? Rather than I don't really know. Okay, so that's too expensive for you. Let me. Why don't you guys think about it? And if you want it, then you can call me back. So to avoid that, call your upline, and then see if there's a better product. And so what I think people like is when you're in home with them and you say, you know what, I'm not really sure if they ask you a question what the answer is to that. Let me call my product expert and my underwriting expert, and let me just make sure that we're actually putting you in the best situation. And they like that. Again, it's building trust. And this guy isn't just trying to sell me the first thing that comes to mind or the highest premium. He's actually calling the expert, and making sure that I'm actually in the right situation. And you can do the same thing. That's so I want to think about it. 9 times out of 10, you're showing them a product that is too expensive for them, or that's the reason why they don't want it. And then so if you get the let me think about it, just straight up ask. So I do this a lot, and typically when somebody says I want to think about it, it's because it's too expensive. And so if that's the case, just let me know, because there's probably other products that we can look at that are going to fit your budget and are still going to accomplish the needs that you have. And then, honestly, it's a little steep for us. Is there something else? And then you still have that sale. Or that price is too steep. Okay, just give me 1 second. I'm going to call my underwriting expert just to make sure that there isn't another product that I'm forgetting about that might be a little more budget friendly. Okay. And then call. Okay. Right. And so I think you can alleviate a lot of the in-home issues with that. Okay. All right. Cool. Does that answer most of your questions?
It answers a lot of questions. So
okay.
Thank you.
Perfect.
One thing you helped me with a lot on that is setting the table. And now every time that I forget to set the table, I lose the sale. If I forget to say, once we find something for you, I'm going to submit it to the company. I get, let me think about it. And now I'm starting to say, what they're going to do is run your medical history. Then they're going to check your background. They're going to verify with your social and your banking info. And let's draft payment from the same banking info. If I forget to do that, about half the time I get, no, I don't want to get my banking info. Setting the table, dude.
Yeah, setting the table is huge. And so what he means by that is you want them to know. So before we do something, I want them to know that we're going to do it. Okay. Sure. So I straight up tell them, in my in-home, after I'll go through my entire in-home. It's the same. It's identical, whether I'm doing internet, final expense, mortgage, it's the same. I just change the first few sentences. But in there, I always say, all right, so once we find a product that actually makes sense, what we're going to do is go ahead and submit a request for coverage. A request for coverage takes anywhere from 1 to 4 weeks to come back. And what the company is doing in that time is they're going to look at things like your prescription history, your medical background. They want to make sure that no one's trying to take out insurance in your name, or that you just escaped from prison and are hiding down here in Dallas, right? And then we laugh. Sure. But once you're approved, you're approved. So at that point, they can't take anything away from you. So
Sure.
they can't increase premiums. They can't decrease the face amount. You're good to go.
Okay.
Does that all kind of make sense?
It does.
And then you go right into it. So now when you get to the social, or you get to, once you present them the options, option 1, option 2, sometimes option 3, they pick one and they already know what we're going to do. Okay, now we're going to submit the request for coverage. So once you pick option 2, I'm going to just reiterate, okay, so again, what they're going to do, they're going to run your prescription history, medical background, make sure it's really you. All right?
Okay.
Yep. All right. So do me a favor, go ahead and grab me your driver's license, a voided check, and then if you don't mind, if you just grab me a glass of water. I've been talking all day. My mouth started getting real dry. I appreciate it. Okay. And then they just do it. And you want to sandwich that voided check thing in. So we already have the bank info. Like they're getting that. Okay. And then oftentimes they get, well, I don't have any checks because it's 2021 and nobody has checks anymore. So I say, all right, yeah, that's no problem. Do you bank online? Yeah, I bank online. All right, just grab your account number and routing number, and that'll be fine. And then that's it. Like there's no objection. I don't get that objection ever, literally ever. Because you set the stage for it. Yeah. And so when you're going through the application, they expect you to be going through the application. They know what you're going to do, and they already know that we need a voided check and that money's going to be drafted. Like, this isn't free. And they pick the option that they wanted. Okay. So I think that there's a lot of value in that, for sure. All right.
That's awesome. Thank
you.
I appreciate
I look forward to working with you.
Likewise. Thank you.
And I know you've been here, you've been working really hard, so I really appreciate your work ethic. What I tell my agents is, you give me 100% of your effort, I'll give you 150% of mine. Cool. Guarantee. And I extend that to you, obviously.
Thank you.
All right. So, Caleb, I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thanks.
Keep crushing it, dude. You're
plan on it.
3 months. I'm going to look into that. I feel like it's been like maybe 2.
2 and something.
That's crazy. Time, it just flies, man.
Check the exact date.
It just flies. Yeah. That's insane, man. But, yeah, keep crushing it, dude. Proud of you. And till next time.
Next time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.